back into another episode of the Cover 4 podcast brought to you by WTK's Rock Solid Sports, where we've got you covered for all things NFL. With Bryson Wright, Jack Foster, Riley Haltom, I'm Joseph Bonanno, and we are through week 13 of the NFL season. And this week was full of injuries, pretty much. I'm pretty sure like 3 starting quarterbacks got injured. A couple people got fired. It's been a busy week in the NFL. Couple people got signed, released, and signed back.
Yeah.
Very busy week in the NFL. So let's jump right into it with our Week 10 recap, and let's look at our games of the or Week 13 recap. Excuse me. And let's look at our games of the week. We'll start over with you, Bryson. Your game of the week for Week 13.
My game of the week was actually the last game of the week. That'll be the Saints and the Buccaneers. Not necessarily because it was like a really great game. I mean, it was kind of boring for most of it, like I'll be honest. But just like the last 6 minutes, seeing Tom Brady at the age he is, basically being like, you know what? No, we are not going down. We're not going down today. We're not going 2 games under 500. We're staying in the playoff race, all of that kind of stuff. So big game. 2 big touchdown passes in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter for them to come through with a big win in their division. So that's why it's my game of the week. Like I said, the first 3 quarters weren't great, but just the fourth quarter and seeing Tom Brady continue to do what he's been doing since 2000 is pretty incredible.
How about Julio Jones? That catch?
Yeah,
it's Julio.
The 5.
I know the penalty ended up backing him up, but that catch really got him down there. And, future Hall of Famer making plays.
Vintage Brady. That's what it was.
Vintage
right
Brady to vintage Julio. Yeah.
Like y'all saw, I was talking about this before, but y'all saw the picture of Tom Brady is a screenshot of the game, and he's sitting on the bench 5 minutes left, and he looks pissed off. No smile.
That's gonna
on
be
his
a meme.
face. He's just staring out. And then at 13 seconds left after he scored that second touchdown, he's laughing, he's smiling, he's jumping on his teammates.
I cannot believe they won that game, given how dominant the Saints defense were.
Yes.
Like you said, all game.
It was 16-3.
And it's funny because Tom Brady doesn't beat the Saints in the regular season.
Right, yeah.
At least when he's on Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
And found a way. And Bucks are back at 500.
Hold up, Joseph. You know what I thought about? They left too much time on the clock.
They did.
They left too much time on the clock.
There's always too much time on the clock for Brady. Until it hits 0.
Right.
You can't trust it. Jack, your game of the week for Week 13.
Yeah, I'm going to go with one of the best. Chargers Raiders. Let me get to it. So 27-20, the Raiders win. This is a game that we have seen some really, really good matchups over the last couple of years, ever since Justin Herbert entered the league, and it really seems like Vegas has had their number. The Vegas come out, punched them in the mouth. This is a bad Chargers defense that was bad once again. Josh Jacobs had another incredible day. How about Devontae Adams getting wide open, streaking down the field multiple times for touchdowns? He was just at, every time Derek Carr threw it, it seems like Devontae Adams was catching it. That hookup was something to behold. And then the Chargers, man, just couldn't get it done. I don't know if this is more of a testament to the Raiders defense kind of getting better as the weeks have gone on. We just saw Seattle kind of have their way with them last week, so I don't think it's that. I really think it's the Chargers offense just still being kind of stale. Keenan Allen made some really good plays, but they bottled up Austin Eckler. The offensive line is not playing well for the Bolts right now. And, with Mike Williams still hurt, it takes away that big play capability for that offense. And it just doesn't seem like they're in the upper echelon of offenses in the NFL like we thought they were going to be entering this season. So the Chargers lose a game in which they really needed to win to stay in, just high standing in that in the AFC wildcard race.
Did y'all see? You mentioned Devontae Adams. Have y'all seen his game logs for this season?
Ridiculous.
It's pretty crazy.
So 177, 74, 141, 126, 146. Then you get 3. Then you got 95,
Flu
124, 101. Then you get 36, 12, and then you come back with 141. I mean, it's up, down.
So he
up,
hasn't
down.
had a
But his ups
are very
ups are I'm the best receiver in the league, but his downs are I'm not getting the ball at all.
So he has not had a game with the receiving yardage total between 36 and 74 yards.
That is
I don't know if you could say that about any other number 1 or number 2 wide receiver on any other team in the NFL.
No, this is what I also say. As a Devontae Adams fantasy owner, it has been kind of crazy throughout the season. But I do think he still has a case for the best wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, obviously, if you look at the stats this year, maybe not, but I think it's just because I don't know, maybe just kind of adjusting to playing with the Raiders and the Raiders not being that good this year. A lot of people kind of forget how good he is, I feel like. But don't look now. The Raiders have won 3 games in a row.
They're not out of it, man.
They're not out of it.
They have a tough schedule the rest of the way. They'll need a lot to go their way, but they are not out
I mean, they need to win out. That's the thing. They'd have to go, 5-0 over the last 5 games, probably. Maybe not necessarily, but probably.
Okay. One more question about a player on this Raiders team, and I'm going to turn to a running back because we've had this debate a couple times this season. Is Josh Jacobs currently the best running back in the league right now?
No.
The best?
Nah.
The best running back.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, he's leading the league in
I don't
rushing.
care about stats. I just can't buy it. Maybe he's top 5.
I'd say he's definitely top 5 right now for this season. I don't know if I'd say number 1 just because, I still think it's Derrick Henry. Because Derrick Henry's offensive line has been
He's averaging 5.4 yards per attempt. He's got 1,300 yards, leads the league in that. He's got double-digit touchdowns at 10.
He definitely has a case
dominating
for this season. Yeah, he definitely has a case.
In the last couple weeks, he has played like the best.
The last 2 weeks he has been. I mean, last week he had 300 scrimmage yards.
Yep.
Yeah. The last 2 or 3 weeks he's been the best running back in the NFL. That's a fact.
I will say he's had 6 games this year over 100 yards. They've come against the Chargers, bad rush D. Seattle, bad rush D. Denver twice, bad rush D. And then
Denver has
KC,
a good rush defense.
No, they have a really good pass defense. Their rush defense has been very susceptible.
I mean, they held Derrick Henry to under 50 yards.
Well, I can bring up other running backs who have done really well against Denver if you want me to. But I'm just saying they're not a top half rush defense. And then Houston was really bad to start. They've kind of gotten better as the season's gone along. KC just kind of in the middle of the pack too. So he's feasted on bad rush defenses. I will say that. And with the Raiders offense just, being so they can beat you deep with Devontae Adams or with Matt Collins. So it's opening up the run game really well for Josh Jacobs this year. And I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He's having a career year. I just am not ready to say he's the best running back in the NFL right now.
No, I don't think he's the best running back in the NFL at all. I think right now it looks like Nick Chubb. He's still playing like Nick Chubb. But yeah, you can't go all the way there with Josh Jacobs just yet.
Are you disagreeing, Justin?
No, I was just asking the question because he leads the league in rushing. I mean, he has one of the best rush yards per attempt.
Yeah, the stats
he's been
there.
dominant for the past 5 games. Easy question right there, whether or not he's been the best. And I guess over the past 5 weeks, yeah, he's been the best. I don't see a running back who's put up the numbers he has at all. But and over the season, he's been the most consistent, I should say.
I mean, he's going to get paid, so he's doing what he needs to do.
He's doing it in a contract year, which I guess you got to take that into account. Contract year, yeah, everyone always performs in a contract year. Yeah,
look what Doug Martin did back in the early 2010s. They always show out.
Yeah,
but yeah, the Chargers now, man, it's going to be tough, I think, for them to make the playoffs with the Jets playing well and Dolphins and all these teams. 6-6, not really good.
Yeah. Riley, your game of the week for week 13.
Yeah, I'm going with Chiefs and Bengals. Great rivalry game inside of the division. Yeah, it was a battle all the way through. Kansas City couldn't get anything done in the fourth quarter. That's why they lost this game. But, both teams, I mean, Patrick Mahomes played like Patrick Mahomes. And Joe Burrow absolutely popped off, doing his thing. He's doing his thing right now for sure. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, 223 for a touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco, 14 carries for 66 yards. He's starting to get more and more work as the season's going on. And then, yeah, the Bengals, Joe Burrow, 286 for 2 touchdowns. Samaje Perine, 21 carries for 100 yards. Like, he is stepped up in the absence of Joe Mixon for the Bengals. And, yeah, he's a big part of the reason why they won that game.
Joe Burrow is the first quarterback in the NFL to beat Patrick Mahomes 3 times in a row.
That's crazy.
He's 4-0,
right?
He's undefeated.
No, he's
3-0.
They've only played 3 times?
They've only played 3 times. Joe Burrow has beat Patrick Mahomes 3 times.
Yeah, and also you got to keep in mind that one of those was a playoff game too.
That's true.
Yeah, in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, no, the AFC Championship, not just the playoff game, the AFC Championship game, to be exact. So
is Burrow okay, so think about all the quarterbacks in the AFC. You have Lamar, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. You have all these
Patrick
high
gotcha.
I have all these high-profile quarterbacks in the AFC. Is Joe Burrow the one that's going to best compete with Mahomes out of the AFC? I mean, so far he has. So far he's the only one that hasn't lost.
I'd still take Josh Allen now.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be harder to get like a good body of work of Mahomes against Allen because they don't play each other nearly as much as Mahomes plays.
They've played each other. They've already played each other twice in the playoffs, though, right?
As long as they both win the division every year, they'll play every year.
Yeah, that's true.
Same thing with Cincinnati.
That's true.
Because they're not in the same division either. Works the same way.
Yeah.
You'll see Mahomes Herbert more, which I think Herbert is third on that list. I would still take Allen first.
Okay.
Then
we're saying Mahomes is one in the AFC, clearly.
Yeah.
I still think he's one in the NFL, but we're saying one in the AFC.
100%.
Who's his biggest competition after that?
In the AFC?
In the
AFC is Josh Allen.
Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Herbert, to me.
Yeah.
Are we talking about this season or are we talking about for like the next like 5 years?
Yeah,
they're
the
all
future.
young, so yeah.
The future.
Okay, if we're talking the next 5 years, I'll put Herbert. If you're talking this season, I want to put Herbert in. But if you're talking the next like 5-6 years,
why would you put Herbert second this year?
No, not second. I'm talking about like on the list. Like if it's just this year, I don't know if I put him on the list.
Wait, you're taking Justin Herbert long term over Josh Allen?
No.
Guys, the question is compared to
gotcha.
face Patrick Mahomes, not just best quarterback, versus Patrick Mahomes, like a rivalry. The best rivalry for Patrick Mahomes. I'm going Burrow at 2 just because Patrick Mahomes has not beat him yet.
Well, maybe.
That's going to be the guy that's going to be the guy that Mahomes, and you heard Mahomes talking about it all week. He goes, obviously the whole story is I haven't beat him yet. We haven't beat a Burrow-led Bengals, and he still hasn't. That's going to be the story every time they play. Is Mahomes going to beat Burrow? That's going to be the rivalry, and that's why I'm saying Burrow's going to be Mahomes' #1 rival for the future. Okay. I'm going to go Josh Allen 2. I'm going to go Justin Herbert 3 because I don't think the Chargers will ever catch the Chiefs in that division.
Justin Herbert is going to I'll take Justin Herbert at 3 too.
But what about Lamar? Nah, they don't play enough.
No. They don't play. Well, the only reason Herbert is on there is because he's so young, and they're going to play twice a year as long as he's on the Chargers. And that's the main thing.
I feel like the Chargers will be able to get to the Chiefs more than the Ravens would. But also, I see what you're saying, Joseph. That's a good point. As far as the rivalry and just the mindset of Mahomes and just the story surrounding the game, Burrow probably is one moving forward, definitely in the next couple of years because of the success Joey B has had so far.
Right?
Yeah, accurate.
I mean, you were going all Josh Allen at first.
Well, I just think
I still take Josh Allen
because
first.
Chiefs Bills is a better game.
Yeah, I still take Josh Allen first.
I don't care about teams. I'm going quarterback rivalry.
But it is a quarterback duel when it's Chiefs Bills. But you're saying the emotions and the storylines.
Yeah,
maybe Burrow is one.
No, but you got to think about it because it goes the other way because Josh Allen hasn't beat Mahomes yet either.
Well, he did this year.
Well, but I'm talking about like when it matters. Okay, he beat him in the regular season. He hasn't beat him in the playoff game.
Yeah.
He never will. Mahomes is just too good.
But he can't beat Burrow.
Maybe Burrow's him.
Is Burrow the next Brady?
If Patrick Mahomes is too good and Joe Burrow is 3-0, then what does that make Joe Burrow?
Him.
Now, if the Chargers actually improve their team, I think Herbert and Mahomes, that's going to be a good rivalry. But right now, the Chargers are just too far behind as a team.
The AFC is just so much fun. We're going to have so much fun. Once Lawrence gets really good and...
Once he gets good. Okay.
That's a cheap shot, but thanks anyway. Yeah, once he gets good, I'm being for real.
What do you mean by... I thought he was already good. He's not good already.
Yeah, right?
But he's not great.
Oh, you mean once he becomes like an elite level quarterback?
Once he becomes Burrow, Mahomes,
I got you. I was like, dude, I thought Trevor Lawrence was actually already pretty good.
And you got Lamar as the change of pace type of quarterback you're going to face. There's a lot of fun in the AFC.
All right. We'll move on. My game of the week. I'm going to go Vikings-Jets, a game that came down to the very end. The Jets had a chance to take the lead there late, but a dropped pass from Mike White to Braxton Berrios in the end zone that would have given them the lead ends up turning the ball back over on downs for the Jets. They end up getting the ball back after the Vikings can't get a first down, but Mike White throws the interception at the goal line to end things, and the Vikings improved to 10-2 on the season. It was a pretty good game. Mike White, I said this last week, I didn't think he was going to win this game. I didn't. He threw 2 interceptions in this game. Didn't look great, but he didn't look terrible. He didn't look as bad as I thought he would. He did have a rushing touchdown. But Kirk Cousins, that Vikings defense, they may not be great, but they'll show up at the important moments. There at the end of the game. Saw it against the Bills earlier this year. Saw it there against the Jets in this week. So Viking Jets, my game of the week for this week.
Yeah, it feels like the Vikings just kind of went through the motions on offense. Their defense was the real story here, I think, because they were leading the Jets pretty big. The Jets scored those 10 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins didn't really have that good of a game. He was off target a lot to Justin Jefferson, inaccurate. Jefferson made 7 catches only for 45 yards, but some of the catches he made, it was like, wow, you had to take that extra step to make that catch or make that extra move or jump, an inch higher to make that catch. So
yeah, I think Kirk Cousins thought this game
day.
was Sunday Night Football. He thought this was a Sunday Night Football game or something because we get full primetime Kirk in this game. I mean, 21 out of 35 for only 173.
Yeah, and he just didn't pass the eye test. Like if you watched it, but hey, they won the game. They're 10-2. They're winning games. So Mike White threw 57 passes. By the way, that's funny.
Well, they don't have a running game. They don't have a running back. I mean,
Zonovan Knight had 90 yards. I mean.
True, but he only carried the ball 15 times. They don't have a guy who's gonna like carry the ball more than.
Well, they haven't since Hall's injury. I feel like this is the best rushing game they've had since Hall went down.
Probably.
And look how many rushers they had. I mean, they had 5 rushers, and one of them was a wide receiver, and Elijah Moore. He only had 1 rush. James Robinson, who they traded for, only 4 carries.
Look, I actually think the Jets offense had a pretty good day. They just can't beat the Vikings. They're not that good. They're good, but they're not as good as Minnesota to beat them on the road.
Listen, they had 2 chances to win that game. They couldn't put it in. They couldn't punch it in the end. The Vikings, it wasn't the Vikings defense that stopped them that first time. It was a drop. The Vikings defense did stop them the second time with the interception, but it was Mike White trying to force something there late in the game with time running out. So,
yeah, I don't think there's any huge storylines with this game. It's just the Jets showed they can compete with good teams. The Vikings are winning close games against good teams. It's just kind of the narrative we've seen already.
No, let's talk about that Vikings real quick because they are now undefeated in 1-score games. They're still undefeated in 1-score games.
That's crazy.
Let's look. Against the Lions, they won by 4. Against the Saints, they won by 3. Against the Bears, they won by 7. Against the Dolphins, they won by 8. Against the Cardinals, 8. Against the Commanders, 3. Against the Bills, 3. They got blown out by the Cowboys, but then won by 7 against the Patriots and 5 against the Jets. Undefeated in 1-score games.
And that's all their wins outside of 1, right?
Yeah. Their only non-1-score win was the Packers in week 1. They blew them out. And their 2 losses were blowouts to the Eagles and the Cowboys. This weird Vikings team. Very weird.
Weird.
Very fun Vikings team. They always seem to have that game of the week. At least they have that.
Well, I mean, it makes sense if you say that they've won all these freaking games by 1 score. That would make sense.
Listen. That's going to do them good in the playoffs. I think that they can play these close games and they're not blowing out everybody, so they don't know what to do at the end of like these close games. They do know what to do at the end of close games because they've played 9 of them. 9 out of their 10 wins are 1-score games, which is not something you see very often in the NFL. And the Vikings are doing it, and they're doing it really well. So credit to them and credit to Kirk Cousins, even though he didn't play well, still winning them games. So let's run through the rest of the scores real quick.
Wait, Riley?
Yeah, he went.
Okay. Yeah.
Thursday Night Football, Bills took down the Patriots 24-10. Steelers held on against the Falcons. Another late game drive interception from Marcus Mariota. We could see a quarterback change this week for the Falcons. Arthur Smith said that it was probably time to start looking in that direction.
Sorry, go ahead.
As the Steelers win 19-16.
Both of those teams want to make me like lay in bed and put my face in the pillow and just forget about life.
Yeah, they're not great. But Steelers, they're on a 2-3 game win streak now. 2-game win streak. And they play the Ravens, who will not have Lamar Jackson up next. Could be 3 games. Packers still own the Bears. Aaron Rodgers put up 18 points in the fourth quarter. They win that one 28-19. Bears got out to a great start. Thought the Packers were going to lose. Aaron Rodgers said no thank you. Lions blew out the Jags 40-14. Sorry,
It's because Lawrence got hurt and
Yeah.
he wasn't right.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence goes down with a
And the
was it,
defense is
was it
terrible.
a foot,
I was about
was
to
it a
say,
foot
yeah,
injury
Trevor
or a knee
Lawrence-
It
injury?
ended up being a foot.
It was a
Yeah.
foot injury.
They said he's questionable for next Sunday though,
Dude,
so
he got
that's pretty
rolled
good.
up on so bad. I
This-
thought he was
Yeah,
done.
Like-
it was ugly.
Yeah, not good.
Commanders and Giants, they tie at 20. Taylor Heineke
Boo.
with the game tying pass in regular time to Jahan Dotson, but they can't do anything. Actually, missed kick at the end of the game by the Giants, I believe.
Was it?
Yes, it was
a-
short. It
missed
was
field goal.
short.
No, it was Sly. It was for Washington.
It was for Washington.
Maybe. I think so. Because I remember seeing Sly's
It was
despair.
Giants. It was Giants. It was Graham Gano. It was
Okay.
Graham
Missed
Gano. He
kick. Yeah,
short
it was
at
a
the
missed
end.
kick to basically.
I think it was like
Keep it tied.
57, 58 yards, and it just came up
58.
short.
58 sounds right. No, yeah, 58. Because the longest, they were saying the longest in their history, it was 57. So this would be a record.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, the Eagles blow out the Titans 35-10. Got some news for the Titans. General manager John Robinson fired after AJ Brown went off for 8 receptions, 119 yards, and 2 touchdowns against his former team.
That just had to be the last straw. I feel like Amy Adams just looked at that and was like, "All right, nope, we're done."
Yeah.
And it was just watching AJ Brown completely just outperform the entire wide receiver core for the Titans. That was just the last straw for John Robinson.
And some news came out about that whole AJ Brown situation from Adam Schefter on NFL Live. Apparently, Amy Adams Strunk, the owner for the Tennessee Titans, was not made aware of the decision to trade AJ Brown. She was not involved in the decision at all. They just told her it happened, which is not what you want from a general manager who seemed to have gone rogue. When you have a head coach that already said in a press conference before the draft that they were going to re-sign him and they were keeping AJ Brown, you have an owner who wasn't even involved in the decision, which Amy Adams Strunk is not one of those owners like Jerry Jones who is actively involved with personnel, but that's a big decision to run. That's a big decision where you better run it by your owner before you do it.
Hey, this is the guy who probably, if not the most popular guy on the team, was like the second most popular guy on the team.
Yeah.
Well, and it goes beyond that. It's the fact that he is the first actual like wide receiver one that the Titans have had in a very long time.
But it's not just the AJ Brown situation that got him fired.
It's been a whole lot
It
more.
was not being able to draft in the first round of any draft since 2019. It was not being able to, or it was giving bad contracts to Ryan Tannehill and Taylor Lewan. Ryan Tannehill, by the way, over 38.5 million on the cap this year, which is more than Patrick Mahomes by over 3 million, which is not really what you want on your salary cap. You don't want Ryan Tannehill taking up more of your salary cap for a year than Patrick Mahomes does.
Yeah, that's
That's pretty simple logic there. As good as Tannehill's been for the Titans since 2019, not worth that. Bad contract. It screwed the Titans in the end. Same thing with the Taylor Lewan deal. Gave him so much money. He hasn't even played half a season yet since he got that contract. He's been injured for majority of that time with lower body injuries. He's probably going to get cut this upcoming offseason. So bad contract there. Obviously signing Dennis Daly, Bud Dupree with a bad contract, signing Vic Beasley to big money, Julio Jones to money. I mean, it's just not been a good past few years. And, he's the first general manager to get fired during a winning season.
I think,
before Christmas.
That's
before
crazy.
Christmas during a winning season, which is insane.
They needed to, though. If their plan was to move on anyway, they need to get their new guy in there
before
college
the draft,
College scouting. It starts. I mean, it really would have started, a while ago.
Yeah.
But you need to get your new guy in there, get him some time in the system, in the building, and get him to where he can scout the guys that he wants.
Yeah. But anyways, John Robinson out. They'll be looking for a new general manager. Mike Vrabel will be taking some more responsibility in that role and have some more say and power in the personnel decisions and the roster building.
And it was like their vice president of personnel is the one that stepped up, and he's going to be like the main guy now.
All right, moving on in the rest of the scores. The Ravens take down the Broncos 10-9. Lamar Jackson goes out with a knee injury. He's out for the next 1 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate about Lamar. But can I add something to the Titans game?
Yeah.
For the 4th time this season, they did not score in the second half.
Yeah, it's not great.
And they've scored 62 points total in the second half all season long.
Yeah, not great.
That's not good.
Not great. And Traylon Burks goes out in that game after he gets headhunted there on that touchdown, which I don't know how the hell he held on to that. But gets headhunted, gets knocked out with a concussion. Titans passing game disappears after that, which is not really what you want. But yeah, so
That's
moving
what
on.
you expect.
The Ravens Broncos, Lamar Jackson goes out. Tyler Huntley is in. He leads them to the game-winning touchdown in the fourth quarter. They win that one 10-9 over the Broncos. Broncos are just a sorry team on offense, like worse than the Titans, which is like hard to believe.
Yeah.
Just really, really bad. But yeah,
This is insane. It's insane how bad the Broncos actually are.
Yeah, but
compared to what people thought coming into the season.
Yeah, but Lamar Jackson being out, that's going to be interesting with the Ravens sitting at 8-4. They're in that third seed right now in the AFC. Could be interesting how the rest of their games go and how long Lamar is actually out with that knee injury. In the return of Deshaun Watson to Houston, the Browns go and beat the Texans 27-14. Deshaun Watson did not play well, had an interception, only threw for like 140 yards. Didn't look well. He had no chemistry with those receivers at all. But the Browns defense is what won them this game. I think they had like 28 points on fantasy. Couple interceptions, couple fumble recoveries. They had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. They had a punt return for a touchdown from Donovan Peoples-Jones. So the special teams defense won this game for the Browns. The 49ers take down the Dolphins with ease without Jimmy Garoppolo, who goes down on the first series of the game with a broken foot. Turns out it's not actually broken, or he won't need surgery on it at least.
Yeah, it's broken.
It's broken, but he won't need surgery. Could be back for the playoffs. But it's Brock Purdy, the Mr. Irrelevant game, as he comes in and leads the Niners to a 33-17 win over the Dolphins.
Have we mentioned Baker yet?
No.
Okay.
I was going to get to that after I went.
Okay, yeah, we can get into it, but obviously Baker Mayfield signed by the Rams, but you have to look at the Niners here for a sec, and they have Brock Purdy, who is Mr. Irrelevant.
They also signed Josh Johnson.
Yes,
Mr. Journeyman.
But Baker Mayfield was the first overall pick, right, in 2018.
Yep.
You know that if the Niners wanted to, they could have signed Baker Mayfield.
No, they couldn't have.
Yeah,
Why
they
not?
could. Yeah, they were higher on the waiver.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
The
Than the
Niners were
Rams?
not higher on the waiver
Yes,
than the
they were.
Rams.
Yes,
No,
they
they
were.
weren't.
They
No, they weren't,
Literally,
Ryan.
Adam Schefter said that.
Okay,
Adam Schefter tweeted that. Go find it.
I didn't mean to start an argument here.
Adam Schefter tweeted that.
I'm
Go
wrong, I'm
find
wrong.
it.
Okay, look, I don't
I
know.
forgot-
I
Look,
looked at the-
look.
I
Y'all
looked
can
at the
find
tweet.
while they look at that. Me and Jack are going to talk about Baker Mayfield. Look, Baker Mayfield. I'm sorry, like if you're getting cut by the Panthers, then like there's a problem as a former number one pick. The Panthers aren't even a good team. I see that they did, in fact.
No, they didn't put in a claim. They weren't higher on the order.
No,
Well, regardless, it
They
doesn't
were.
matter. It's the same
They
point.
wouldn't have got him anyways.
It's the same point.
They wouldn't have got him anyways.
You don't know that.
Yes, they would have because the
Okay.
Rams signed him.
okay,
What do
hold
you
on,
mean,
hold on.
Riley?
Oh my
Joseph,
God.
yes, you may be right, but the point still actually stands now.
That's not the point.
The point is
not
that
the
they
order.
chose not to put in a claim.
Oh yeah, no,
to ride
yeah,
with
I
Brock
get that.
Purdy, who's a Mr. Irrelevant when Baker was the first overall pick. I'm saying that is how bad Baker Mayfield is. That is my point.
Oh,
Baker
no, yeah, I
Mayfield or
got
Zach
that.
Wilson?
Yes, he is locker room.
Did you say
poison.
or?
No. Who do you want? Baker
Baker
Mayfield. Or
Mayfield.
Zach
Oh,
Wilson?
I would take Baker
gosh.
Mayfield.
I don't care.
I would take Baker.
We
Mayfield.
had this discussion a couple weeks ago.
I would take Baker.
I guess. I don't care. I don't
Who's
care.
who's getting drafted this year? Any of them? Anybody? Literally. Joseph. I'll take Joseph over either of those guys right now.
I could throw for 100 yards.
But also, just going back to, I think a big reason why, or at least a reason why they didn't do it, is because Brock Purdy was able to win this game and make that throw to Christian McCaffrey in the end at the game-selling touchdown. So props to the Iowa State product, and props to the 49ers for winning a huge game without their starting quarterback.
Yeah. Jimmy G could be back for the playoffs with no surgery. And then on Sunday Night Football, the Cowboys embarrassed the Colts, scored 33 points in the fourth quarter before the 2-minute warning, and beat them 54-19. And then on Monday Night Football, obviously, we talked about it. Bucks take down the Saints 17-16. On bye this week, Cardinals and Panthers. And with that, just real quick, let's run through our winners and losers of the week. I will start my winner of the week, Mr. A.J. Brown. for two reasons. One, he went off. I mentioned it, 8 receptions, 119 yards, 2 touchdowns. He played bully ball against the Titans. He did what A.J. Brown is meant to do and just dominate physically against those Titans DBs, and that's what he did. But also because he proved to Titans fans that John Robinson screwed up. And then after John Robinson got fired, all that stuff came about, how John Robinson kind of went rogue on the decision, and A.J. Brown made him pay for it. When A.J. Brown, everyone knew beforehand A.J. Brown wanted to be a Titan for life. Everyone knew that Mike Vrabel wanted A.J. Brown re-signed, and every Titans fan wanted A.J. Brown re-signed.
Yep.
Yes. As much as
Brown.
some people tried to talk themselves into the fact that it was a good trade, the immediate reaction for me when A.J. Brown got traded was, what the hell are they doing?
Jack, you were in the room when I found out, right?
You and I were in the room together, and I think I called Joseph on FaceTime. It may have been
Yes.
Jackson, but I think it was Joseph. And all it was just a no scream
It was
into the
not great.
phone, and then a hang
Dude,
up.
was-
I was hoping it was like a fake account.
There was a lot of despair in the editing suite
Riley
of the
said-
communication
Riley said,
building
no.
that day.
Then he ran out, and I think he called his dad,
I
and I
did.
just didn't see him for a while. And then I called Joseph, who screamed no in my face and hung up. So it was a bunch of no's.
Yeah, it was not a good
Despair.
night. It was not a good night. But that's why my A.J. Brown's my winner, because he proved that he's in a better situation right now, which he is offensively. Philly seems to love him. He seems to love Philly, and he seems to be doing great there. So A.J. Brown, the
Okay.
winner of the week, for getting the revenge game out of the way.
If A.J. Brown had 4 catches for 30 yards and the Eagles won 21-10, do you think John Robinson gets fired?
Probably not.
Yeah,
Probably not.
right.
I actually, honestly, probably not.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like A.J. Brown got
So
fired
you know
this
what?
week.
I'm happy that it happened like it did.
No, and
If
then
we were gonna lose, I'm happy it happened like it did.
Hold
I'm
up.
gonna be honest.
can we talk about the AJ Brown dropped Terminator merch?
Yeah.
The same day,
Yeah.
like merch of him as the Terminator. Like the way the design looked, there's no way that I think it was going to drop that day regardless. Like it looked like they had been working on it, but the fact that it dropped the exact same day is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
Like it's one of the funniest things ever because it was
he's-
like an hour after the news drops.
he's
It's like
probably
AJ Brown Terminator.
he's probably the biggest troll out of all the wide receivers in the NFL.
Oh,
right now.
dude, and look, as much
Yeah,
as it hurts
probably.
as a Titans fan, I think it's kind of funny. And
It is funny.
it's
It
hilarious.
sucks,
And
but
then
it's
it's like all the
hilarious.
Titans fans be under the tweets getting mad. I'm like, dude, you can't even be mad. Like he got traded, he's making more money, and he's on a better team that has a better chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He won. It's okay.
He won.
AJ
Yeah.
Brown won.
So my loser of the week, I'm gonna go quarterback injuries. Jimmy G, Lamar, Trevor Lawrence, Ryan Tannehill got banged up against the Eagles.
Again.
I mean, just John Wofford, Matt Stafford, both of them. I mean, neither of them. John Wofford was a starter,
I don't
got
know.
banged up. Matt Stafford was a starter, got banged up. There's not a quarterback. There are too many quarterback injuries in this league right now, and it's gonna screw up the playoffs eventually.
Yeah.
Just think about it. You got teams like the 49ers and the Ravens who have injured quarterbacks. You got teams like the Saints who are somehow still in it playing with Andy Dalton, and because Jameis Winston got injured at the beginning.
And Tua has a bum ankle now. apparently.
Tua's playing banged up.
Aaron
It's,
Rodgers has broken ribs and a broken thumb, probably.
Aaron Rodgers is
Justin Herbert.
hanging on to life. I mean, it's just
Aaron Rodgers also has some broken pride, I think, too. But
it's just insane. It's not just quarterback injuries this week. I'm just gonna go all injuries this week, to be honest, because it was like everyone was dropping like flies. You remember? Was it last year or 2020? I think it was 2020. Do you not remember that week where like 3 people tore their ACL in the
Yeah.
same game or
Yeah, I
like
remember
same
that.
hour?
It was at MetLife, right?
Yeah, I
What
mean, it
happened?
was like ridiculous. It just feels like this week was like that. I feel like every time I got on Twitter, it was, Jimmy G's out. This guy's out. Lamar's out. Trevor Lawrence is out. Like out. And you're like, what is happening? What is going on with
Kenneth
these training
Walker.
staff? Kenneth Walker
Yeah,
also
that was
got
another
injured.
one.
I mean, absolutely insane that all these injuries are just happening, and they seem to be happening at the worst time. And so for fantasy owners, for teams, my loser of the week is the injuries because they suck.
All right. I'll go next. My winner of the week, we talked about this game kind of in length, so I won't go too into depth, but it's the Bengals is my winner. Their win over the Chiefs, and they're my winner for multiple reasons. Yes, they won. Yes, they look great. They got Jamar Chase back. Their defense played really well. It's two big reasons why they're the winners. And Lamar Jackson went down. They're nipping at the Ravens' heels right now for the division lead. They're both 8-4. Ravens won the head-to-head earlier in the season, so that's why they're currently in first. But I think the Bengals are the best team in that division. They showed it again. They're starting 0-2 in the season. There's usually a high percentage when you start 0-2, you don't make the playoffs. That's not going to happen with Cincinnati. They are going to make the playoffs. And January 8th is going to be a huge day because the Bengals and Ravens will square off once again, and it probably will be for the division lead. So, yeah, Bengals are my winner. All around applause for that team.
And Burrow being, like we already talked about it, Burrow being 0-3 or 3-0 against Mahomes.
Right.
I mean,
that's everything
just,
we mentioned earlier too.
That's just impressive.
Yeah, they're fully healthy. They're going to get fully. Joe Mixon should be back next week. And how about Samaje Perine over 100 yards on the ground?
Yeah,
he's great out of the backfield with catching the ball. So they have two really good options at running back too. My loser of the week is the Packers. And you might think, why is your loser of the week the Green Bay Packers, Jack? They beat the Bears 28-19 with a comeback, and Aaron Rodgers gave a salute to Soldier Field as he left. They're my loser of the week because of another game, and it's the Washington Commanders and the Giants tying at 20 because now it is going to be increasingly difficult for the Packers to make the playoffs. They already really have to win out. Once they drop to 4-8, you're like, okay, you probably ain't making the playoffs, finishing 8-9. So you gotta win out, right? And their schedule is pretty good, and like as far as they can win out, I'm saying like their schedule is not hard. They could win out. I think Miami and Minnesota, but both of those games, if Rodgers is just giving it all, the Minnesota game is in Lambeau, they may be able to squeeze those out. But with the Washington Commanders being 7-5-1, the Giants being 7-4-1, man, it is going to be difficult to try and get a half a game up on either one of those when the season ends. I don't think the Seahawks go anywhere. Cowboys definitely ain't going anywhere in the wildcard race. So they're going to have to make it over both of those NFC East teams, and I just don't see it happening.
Yeah. Doesn't matter because Aaron Rodgers still owns Chicago, though. At least he owns Chicago.
Oh, also him saluting Soldier Field, like he's done. I think he's retiring.
Really?
Yeah. Unless he can like, go play the. I think he's done as the Packers
unless he goes,
or
to
he
the
goes
Indianapolis Colts.
I was gonna say, unless they trade him,
he's not doing that to himself. He's not dealing with Jim
the
Irsay.
Colts. Yeah, no way.
He's not dealing with the new coach and Jim Irsay. He just ain't doing it.
No.
I could see him going to New York, and if like San Fran is just like, yeah, we screwed up taking Trey Lance, Jimmy G.
They did, by the way.
Maybe there's a scenario, but I doubt it. So,
Bryson, your winners and losers of the week.
Well, I'll start with a loser since we just mentioned the Colts. I would have just picked the Colts in general, but I decided to specifically choose the fourth quarter Colts because the fourth quarter Colts might be the worst football team I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, it was a 21-19 game. This was a winnable game. Like, you got to keep in mind for the Colts too. It's like, even though they're 4-8-1, it's not impossible to say that if they could put some wins together, I don't know. We'll see what happens because the AFC has been kind of difficult. I don't know. So their season's probably over, but still, you got 21-19. You can at least build some momentum under your new coach with Jeff Saturday and all that. And it's not even just that you lose in the fourth quarter, but it's just like it's almost like the Cowboys. It's like the Colts controller disconnected, like in the fourth quarter. They were playing, and they is like, oh, your opponent has left the match. 33 points in the fourth quarter, just like that.
Listen to this. Okay, so after the Colts scored the touchdown to make it 21-19, this was effectively their the rest of their game. So Cowboys scored a touchdown. Colts fumbled, led to a Cowboys touchdown. Colts threw an interception. Cowboys scored a touchdown. Colts threw an interception. Cowboys scored a touchdown. Colts fumbled the ball. Cowboys scored a touchdown. End of the game.
Four turnovers.
I've never seen anything like it.
And a defensive touchdown.
Four turnovers and a defensive touchdown.
Even like I feel like
So
even
bad.
the Cowboys fans were like, "What is going on?" Like 33 points in the fourth quarter is ridiculous. So my loser is the Colts defense.
And you know who led all those turnovers? Matt Ryan. He fumbled both times, and he threw the interceptions.
Salute to you, Matt Ryan.
So
just like Aaron Rodgers.
He didn't fumble. He didn't fumble for the touchdown. That was on a kickoff. The fumble touchdown was on a kickoff, but he fumbled. He fumbled the second time, but he also threw all those interceptions.
That is right.
So Matt Ryan, I'm going to add on. Matt Ryan's the other loser. Who's your winner of the week?
My winner of the week, I got to go with Tyler Huntley. And it's not because he had a spectacular game necessarily, but he didn't make the big mistake that loses you the game either. He completed like 84% of his passes, 27 out of 32, 187 yards, didn't throw for a touchdown, but did rush for the game-winning touchdown. And the only touchdown of the game, the only touchdown that was scored in this game. So shout out to Tyler Huntley, because even though, like I said, he threw an interception in the game, he didn't play great for the majority of the game, but everybody's going to remember the fact that when the game was on the line, he had that nice game-winning drive and scored the game-winning touchdown. So shout out to him.
Is there a better backup that just fits into the system like that than Tyler Huntley and Lamar Jackson?
Dude, it's so good, right?
It is like
a seamless transition.
I mean, it is literally a copy and paste job right there. I mean,
I don't know.
Obviously,
It's a little less talent.
A little less talent.
I was about to say, it's like, well, you want Lamar Jackson, we got Lamar Jackson at home type. That's what Tyler Huntley is.
Dollar General Lamar.
But listen, what other offense in the NFL can say, oh, we just lost our starting quarterback, let's put in someone who plays the exact same way?
Yeah.
And we don't have to change our offensive scheme at all. We don't have to change our play calling. We don't have to change our personnel. We don't have to do anything to support this new quarterback. We can just keep going.
Plug and play.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's there's another team in the NFL that can do that.
No, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Besides maybe the Browns, but I don't know.
And how about the Ravens? You only need a touchdown to score against the Broncos. It's pretty remarkable.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, I was just looking at it. I was like, oh wow, Tyler Huntley scored the only touchdown in this game, and it was with like, I think it was in the last minute of the fourth quarter. So for like 58 plus minutes of this game, no touchdowns.
Like I said, the Broncos offense, probably the worst offense in the NFL. And
I don't think there's a probably.
Well,
and I watched the Tennessee Titans in and out.
Houston has got to be.
But
Houston scored 14 points.
That's what I'm saying.
They had a garbage touchdown in like the closing seconds. Dude, they were so bad against Cleveland. They had a safety and a field goal, 2 field goals and a safety to get to 8. And then they had that touchdown.
They're also going to get their quarterback in this upcoming draft. And
hold up.
And if they don't feel like Bryce Young, they're dumb.
Yeah.
The Denver Broncos are the worst offense in the NFL in terms of points. They have scored 166 points this season. The Texans are second, but they've scored 188 points. So they have scored 20 more points than the Broncos on the season so far. And they're also the only 2 teams that haven't scored at least 200 points on the season.
I mean, it's pitiful, man. I don't know why the NFL just offensively is so bad this year.
Live look at the Russell Wilson bathroomometer. Have you guys been looking up?
Oh, yeah.
What?
So,
no, I haven't.
It's a tracker to see how many touchdowns Russell Wilson is throwing this season compared to how many bathrooms are in his house, because I think he decided to flaunt that at some point. But he has 8 touchdowns on the season. He has 12 bathrooms in his home.
So my gosh. No, that's incredible. That is
5
incredible.
touchdowns in the remaining 5 weeks to get it. And I don't think it's going to happen, folks. I just don't. But before I...
That's awesome.
Yes. Before I give my winner and loser of... Wait, no, I already went. Sorry. It'll be Joseph or Riley next.
I already went, so
it's Riley, yeah.
Okay. But before I do that, I wanted to make one last point going back to your Colts Cowboys game, because I was texting with a friend and my father while this game was going on. When Matt Ryan fumbled and the Cowboys recovered, they had originally taken it back. That would have made it 54-19, like that, right? Like their last touchdown, they took a minute to score on offense, but it should have been a defensive touchdown. He covered up, he got the fumble, and he ran in. He was never touched, guys, but they ruled him down by contact, and I legitimately thought the NFL does not want the Colts offense to go back out there because they don't want to get – it's so embarrassing right now.
Yeah.
So I legitimately think that they were like, okay, let's just give Dallas's offense the ball so we – maybe we don't have to see Blue back on the field. Maybe Two doesn't have to be back on the field. But then the Cowboys scored anyway, and he came back out. So I just
this is another thing about the Colts. The last thing I'll say is that if there's any time where you knee the ball down when you're losing, that's not a good sign.
Yeah,
that's just what we'll end. They came out and they were like, you're right. Let's just go home.
All right, hold up. One more thing on this Broncos team, real quick, before we move on to Riley's. If they had scored 18 points in every game, exactly 18 points in every game, they'd have 7 wins.
Crazy. They'd be 7 and 5.
7 and 5. They'd have a winning record, and they'd be competing for a wild card spot.
That's ridiculous.
18 points. That's all it takes, and they can't do it. They're
sold their future for the quarterback who's putting up less than 18 points per game.
yeah. Riley, your winners and losers of the week, real quick.
So my winner and loser goes together. It's the Titans is the winner and the loser is John Robinson. Now you're thinking, Riley, Titans just lost and they lost their general manager. How are they the winner? It's because they lost their general manager that they're the winner. John Robinson, here's the thing about John Robinson with the Titans. He took the Titans from a very bad place and made them contenders, right? They're going to be playoffs every year, right? But he can't make it to that next step, which is Super Bowl contender. He's drafted okay, bad in the first round. He's found some late round like steals. Amani Hooker, David Long, being one of the best linebackers in the NFL right now. He drafted him in the 6th. He's had some great drafts, but he's also had some really bad drafts. So John Robinson, moving on from him, it's the same thing as like when the Titans moved on from Mike Mularkey after 4 straight winning seasons. Moving on from him, taking the step to Mike Vrabel. We see how that went. It's a scary thing to move on from a general manager, especially while you're in a good place as a franchise as a whole. Titans are winning. They're playoff contenders, but they're just not a good team top to bottom. So moving on from John Robinson, taking a bit of a risk to see if you can take that next step, move on to be Super Bowl contenders. It's a good step for Amy Adams-Strunk and the Titans. So that Titans are my winner. John Robinson, loser.
Very well.
Moving on for our final recap of week 13, our dogs of the week. I'll start off. I'm going to go a wide receiver duo. And this is a wide receiver duo that popped off this week, and that is DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Both had incredible games. Tyler Lockett had 9 receptions for 128 yards and a touchdown. DK Metcalf had 8 receptions for 127 yards and a touchdown. And the win against the Rams. And, DK Metcalf, when he first got into the league, you thought, okay, this guy's going to be like, he obviously had the outstanding combine, the physicality, those pictures of him, flexing. You're like, okay, this guy's going to be good, but is he really going to be that good? Yeah, he has been that good. And I've been really impressed with him. He's had some ups and downs in his career so far. But this year playing with Geno, it just seems like he's having a lot more fun. He's playing a lot more loose, a lot more free. Tyler Lockett also looks the same. He had a really bad year last year. He's looking like he's having fun again with Geno. So shout out to those two big weeks, and they're going to be my dogs of the week.
I agree with that. I mean, I think that's a good one. I'm also going to go with a wide receiver, but we already talked about this guy earlier a little bit, and it's Davante Adams. Like we talked about earlier, he's had some up and downs, but the ups have been very high. You know what I mean? So 8 receptions, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, and really is helping that Raiders team try to salvage the season. Not sure if it's going to work, but without his play, I think they probably have 2-3 wins on the season instead of sitting at 5. So, I mean, hey, good for Davante Adams. I still think he has a case for best wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah. I'm still picking Jay Jettas. I'm pretty sure this guy's still picking Tyreek.
I wanted to add this earlier when you said that. I think that I struggle with Adams or Diggs too, but Jefferson definitely won. So Adams has a case to be 2. I don't know if he has a case to be 1, but he has a case to be 2 for sure. And Diggs has a case.
Well, they're all in. He's in the conversation at least.
I would say Jefferson tier, Adams, Diggs tier, Kupp when he's healthy is in that tier, and then you move to Tyreek. We talked about it at dinner. You know how I feel. I told you.
You did, but you didn't say Tyreek was not top 5.
Okay, time out.
Said he's 5th.
Time out.
Said he's 5th.
Time out. We're playing a game to get this out of the way. We're playing Would You Rather. Tyreek Hill edition. All right.
Okay.
Again? No, I'm kidding.
What again?
I mean,
this isn't again.
No, let's go.
Pretty cut and dry.
Real quick. Tyreek Hill edition. Would you rather? Devontae Adams.
Are we talking about this
Tyreek.
season? Like this season?
Who would you rather have?
Tyreek.
I'll take Devontae Adams.
Said Hill or Adams?
Hill or Adams?
This season?
Yeah.
Adams.
I'm going this season. I'm going Hill. I think he's a little more dynamic. Would you rather Tyreek Hill or Justin Jefferson?
Tyreek.
I'll take Justin Jefferson.
I'm going Jay Jettis.
100%.
Would you rather Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase?
Tyreek Hill.
Oh, yeah, Hill.
Okay, what about overall?
Oh,
I'll take Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek's like 28, 29. Jefferson's like 22. I'm going to take Chase if I'm like on a dynasty team. Like if I'm like, oh, building a roster, I'm taking Jamar Chase.
All right. Would you rather Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs?
Tyreek.
This season, Diggs.
You're going Tyreek over Diggs, man.
I think
Diggs.
I'm going Tyreek over Diggs too.
I'm going Diggs, man.
Only
Tyreek is on.
three-
Is Tyreek is still on pace for like 2,000 receiving yards, right? Are we?
No, not 2,000.
He's not. I'm saying,
It's under 2,000.
He's petered off.
Dang,
There's
dang
3
close.
slam dunk yeses for me, and you've got them. Jefferson, Adams, Diggs. Everything else I'll entertain.
What about Cup?
Tyreek.
I mean, I have to take Tyreek right now, but like I do think when Cup is at the top of his game, he's better.
So you're taking Cup. If you're going to do it at the top of the game, you're taking Cup.
Yeah, when they're both at the top of the game, I'm taking Cup.
I
dude.
think
he's a maestro.
I'll take Justin Jefferson and Devontae Adams. Then after that, it's a conversation for Tyreek Hill for everybody else.
Yeah, Hill's in the he's fifth. There's no one I'm taking over Tyreek right now at the 5 spot. You know, I'll take Cup if he's at the top of his game. Right now, there's no one I'm taking over him at the 4 spot. Sorry, Riley, bro.
I think that's insane.
Yeah, well,
The things that Tyreek Hill does for a team.
He's fast. That's it.
Yes.
As a wide receiver,
Wait. Okay, let's not
As a
just
wide
wait. We can't
receiver?
pretend like being fast. Oh, he's just fast. He's not just fast. He's the fastest
That's
dude
true.
in the league.
He's not, and the thing is, he's not just fast. Being as fast as he is, yes, that's great, and that's part of why the Dolphins' offense is working like it is. But you get he's not just fast. He can go up and make contested catches. People just forget about that. People see him get wide open and are like, "Oh, that's all he can do." But no, when he has to make a catch, he can do that. He just doesn't have to very often because he's so fast.
I'm still taking Justin Jefferson over Tyreek Hill
Yeah,
every day of the week.
I'm taking that.
All right, the rest of the dogs of the week, so we can get into the picks.
Yeah, I'll go next.
Okay.
Taking Nick Bosa. I think this is the first defensive player I've taken all season. But Nick Bosa was a absolute unit against the Dolphins, and he has been an absolute unit all freaking season. I mentioned it in a message to you guys earlier in our Twitter thread that maybe he should be defensive player of the year. I would have, if I didn't see this tweet, I'd have been like, yeah, Micah Parsons, duh. But honestly, man, Bosa has a better season. He has 14.5 sacks. He has 15 TFLs. That is 2 more than Parsons, and he has 2.5 more sacks. QB hits 34-22 in favor of Bosa. Pressure 62-58 in favor of the 49er. Pressure percentage is higher, and he's done it all in 1 less game. Nick Bosa has had an incredible season, and he was a big reason the 49ers were able to knock off the Dolphins. He had the forced fumble. He had multiple sacks. He was the MVP of this game. He is my dog of the week.
Good pick.
So let's talk about this defensive player of the year real quick, because it is a great conversation. It's a very intriguing conversation because Micah Parsons at the beginning of this year is like, okay, yeah, this guy's winning defensive of the year. Right. There's nothing there. But stats right now showing that Bosa is having if a better year than Parsons right now. However, the biggest argument for Micah Parsons is, he's a linebacker. He plays out in coverage. You know, he does more in the passing game than in coverage game. But there's a little stat out there from Cameron Britton on Twitter. Parsons only 5 coverage snaps per game this year. Last year where he had 11. He's basically a pass rusher now.
Right.
Yes. I mean, he's not a linebacker that's going to go out there and cover the tight ends all the time and cover the running backs. He's going to go after the quarterback. You know why? Because that's what he's good at. That's what he does best. Why would you take your best pass rusher out from rushing the passer?
Right. And, Parsons has been incredible, but I just think with the stats and, how much Bosa is doing, it's kind of hard to deny him. It's a toss-up.
Who would y'all pick?
I don't know. It feels like Parsons has had the flashier moments, where he's
he has plays. 2 more forced fumbles, 3 more passes defended, and 16 more tackles.
And probably 1 or 2 more touchdowns. I don't know.
How many more interceptions does he have?
One?
Neither of them have an. Neither of them.
He doesn't have an interception yet. Oh, I
No.
could have swore it.
Wait, Parsons doesn't have a touchdown?
Yes, he does. He picked up that fumble against the Bears.
I'm almost positive he does.
He picked up that fumble against the Bears and ran it back.
The ESPN thing says he doesn't, but regardless.
Anyway,
all right. So yeah, 1 more defensive touchdown.
I think it's too close to call. I really do. I'm gonna have to see the remainder.
Flip
of the
a coin.
That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I mean, you got to see what happens the last few weeks of the season. But I think right now I go with Parsons. I go with Micah Parsons right now.
I think
because on a crazy pace.
I think it's the flash. I think it's the flashy the flashy player is going to get it. Right now, that's Parsons.
The 3 sacks
Yeah.
against
But
Miami
if Bosa-
is
Listen,
what-
Has propelled.
if
Yeah.
Bosa gets over 20 sacks on the season, it's his.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
and
yeah.
Parsons doesn't, it's his.
But he would have to have what, like 2 sacks a game for the rest of the season to do
He
that?
5.5
He
in
needs
5
five and a
weeks.
half in 5 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
maybe.
you can do that.
Oh, he's at 14 and okay. That's crazy.
He's got 2.5 more.
Yeah.
But
So-
he had 3 last week. Which was
Oh,
why
that's
he's
okay.
a
That's why.
freaking
Okay.
dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your dog of the week, Riley.
Yeah, for my dog of the week, I'm going to go with Brock Purdy. We already touched on it, leading the 49ers to a win over the Miami Dolphins, a good Miami Dolphins team. Yeah, 49ers get that win with Brock Purdy throwing 25 of 37, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, did throw an interception. But the fact that Mr. Irrelevant was able to come in and lead this team with all of these offensive weapons, you got to think about it. The Niners are probably one of the more offensively like confusing schemes to be in. Brock Purdy came in there, and while he wasn't making, big time 30-yard throws down the field or anything like that, he was operating that offense well. He went down, he made plays, and he won the game. So, yeah, Brock Purdy, dog.
Mr. Irrelevant becoming the most relevant Mr. Irrelevant that I think we've
Ryan Suckup
seen-
was a Mr. Irrelevant?
Yeah, Ryan Suckup might be the most relevant.
interesting.
But
I did
right
not
now,
know.
yeah, I feel you. I mean,
Right.
everyone's talking about Brock Purdy.
Yeah,
so.
Brock Purdy. He's
I
him.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. Any final thoughts on week 13 before we move on to this week 14 picks and locks?
No, not really. I just think with Washington and New York tying, it, like I said, it really diminishes the Packers' hopes. So I really feel like it's an 8-team race in the NFC.
Run through the playoff picture just real quick.
Okay, yeah, I'll fly through it. All right, in the AFC, with the Chiefs losing to the Bengals, the Bills are now the 1 seed. Chiefs are the 2 seed. Ravens holding on to that 3 seed spot at 8-4, and the 4 is the Titans in a terrible division, leading at 7-5. The wild card spots are the Bengals 8-4, Dolphins 8-4. Those 2 are going to make the playoffs, and then the 7 seed is the question. It's the Jets right now at 7-5, but nipping on their heels at the Chargers and the Patriots at 6-6. Then the Raiders, Browns, and Steelers all have a shot at 5-7. In the NFC, the 1 seed is the Eagles, of course, 11-1. Vikings are the 2 at 10-2. Niners are now the 3 at 8-4. Bucks are the 4 at 6-6. The wild cards, Cowboys leading that in a big way at 9-3. But then you get the Giants at 7-4-1, Seattle 7-5, and then Washington at 7-5-1. Lions and Packers and the Falcons, I guess, not out of it at 5-7, and then 5-8 for the Packers and the Falcons. To me, like I said, it's an 8-team race in the NFC with that tie. In the AFC, if you look at the Patriots' schedule, it is horrible for them. They are going to lose like 3 of their next games, and they are not going to finish with a winning record in my book. Same goes for the Raiders. I just don't think they can get it done. So to me, it is also an 8-team race in the AFC. I'm not confident at all in Cleveland the way Deshaun Watson looked. So to me, it's between the Chargers and the Jets for the 7 in the AFC, and then the NFC. You got both the NFC East teams and the Giants and the Commanders with Seattle mixed in as well.
Yeah, I honestly in the AFC, I think the biggest change we'll see is who wins the division for the Ravens and Bengals, and then whoever gets that 7th seed. I think everything else is pretty much set. You might see a flip flop in Bills Chiefs one more time this season, possibly, just depending on how that goes. And then in the NFC, I think the 4 division winners are probably set, except for the 49ers. I don't think the Buccaneers are losing that division. I just don't think the Falcons are that good. Give me Tom Brady to win the division. They'll be the 4 seed. But yeah, it's that division with the Niners and the Seahawks. That's the one that's probably going to be the biggest change for that one.
I don't think the Niners lose the division, but I could see where it's close. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. That's probably if anything's in the close, that would be the only one that would flip flop.
It's really going to come down to the Giants and the Commanders. Like that, the matchup in
they
week
play
15,
one more. Yeah, they play one more time.
Commanders
Yeah.
are on a bye, right, and then they'll play again. The Giants' schedule is Eagles loss, then they get Commanders, Vikings, Colts, Eagles. So maybe it literally could come down to the last week, and the Commanders will probably win that game. I think they have an easy matchup, and then the Giants will have to beat the Eagles, and the Eagles will rest all their starters because they have the 1 seed locked.
Maybe.
If it comes down to that,
Most
that is
likely.
a brutal beat for Washington. Brutal.
Yeah, it'll probably come down to
that'll
it.
be fun to play
That
out.
would be insane.
Yeah,
I really think that's what's going to happen, guys.
No, yeah, it's going to come down to it. And it's like the Giants have to win this game, and it's going to be like Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Miles Sanders, literally everybody that's important on both sides of the ball is not going to play.
And the Commanders play the Cowboys of the last week. Say Eagles got the division, got the 1 seed, and then the Cowboys cannot drop to 6. That's a very real possibility. So they're locked in at 5. They'll rest their starters.
Yeah.
So the Commanders can win that game, but the Giants would have to lose. I think that's what it'll come down to.
It's definitely going to be interesting to watch. But that's the playoff picture through week 13. And as we head into week 14, let's look at our records for our locks. Are these all updated, Riley?
Yep.
So in first place, tied for first, or in first place now, no longer tied because he had probably the best week out of all year. It's Bryson at 105, 66, and 2. He's now 2 games ahead of Riley and myself at 103 and 68 and 2, and then Jack's at 171 and 2. And that is the pick'em records so far through week 13. And with that, let's go ahead and make our picks. We'll start with Thursday Night Football. It's the Raiders and the Rams. Baker Mayfield getting the start more than likely for the Rams with John Wofford and Matthew Stafford both out, but also they have no other offensive weapons because Allen Robinson is out. Cooper Kupp is out. Cooper Kupp is out, and their only offensive weapon right now is Cam Akers, and he just played 1 game.
Come on, man. No love for Higbee?
Come on now. Come on now.
Okay. So I know you're going to start with me, so I'm going to make it easy. I'm picking the Raiders. Let's go.
Hey, y'all.
Also, my first lock, I'm going to go ahead and lock it in.
Uh-oh.
Give me Raiders plus. Oh, wait. It's not plus.
6.
They got to be
6.
favored.
Yeah, Raiders -6.
Wait, you're
Not
taking,
plus 6.
You're still taking them.
I'll take Raiders -6.
All right.
Because I thought it was +6, but I'll take minus. That's why I was like, that's an easy
You going
lock.
Raiders or
Hey,
Rams?
real quick.
That is a crazy.
I'm going Vegas, but hey, real quick. Y'all ever seen Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
Yes.
You got to watch it, Riley. It's one of the greatest comedy movies ever. But you know how Matthew McConaughey is Ben Stiller's agent?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And he calls his name's Tug Speedman, Ben Stiller's is, so he calls him Tugger Nuts. Yeah, you ever heard that, right? I call Tyler Higbee Higger Nuts for
Oh
fun.
gosh.
So if I ever reference that, that's why. It's funny, right?
Yeah.
Sure, Jack.
Crazy.
That's
All right.
yeah.
I'm going.
Good one, Jack.
It's
All
funny.
right, we're moving on.
Good-
I'm
good
going
one.
Raiders.
I picked Vegas, by the way.
I'm going Raiders as well. Devontae Adams going to have another big game. There's just nothing that this Rams team can do offensively or defensively, to be honest. And did y'all see DK Metcalf playing with Jalen Ramsey?
Yes, he was like,
telling him to
"Come on,
follow him.
come on
And
over here."
Jalen Ramsey just threw his hands up like, bro, where you going? And then DK proceeded to go and make a great catch. Yeah, give me Devontae Adams against Jalen Ramsey all day long. Give me the Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders sweep.
All right, moving on into Sunday's games. The early games, we have a division matchup between the Bills and the Jets. Is Mike White going to start for the Jets? Probably more than likely. But too bad they got to face the other guy on the Bills, and that's Josh Allen at home, where they are 4-1. But the Jets are 4-2 on the road. So Road Warrior Jets taking on the Home Warrior Bills. Who you got?
Bills.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bills just because the Jets beat them last time, and I don't see a world where the Jets sweep the Bills, especially when this one's at home.
Buffalo is a 9.5-point favorite. Give me Buffalo.
Wow.
Buffalo sweep.
All right, moving on. We got Deshaun Watson versus Joe Burrow, a matchup that I think would have been great 4 years ago.
2.
Or 2 years ago, whenever. I don't know.
4 years ago, Joe
Burrow
Burrow
was
was the backup for Ohio State, wasn't
No,
he?
I'm saying if you took current Joe Burrow and 4 years ago Deshaun Watson,
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah.
it
That
would
would
have
have
been
been cool.
great.
Yeah.
But I just don't trust Deshaun Watson. I'm going the Bengals.
Yeah, I'll take the Bengals as well. I mean, I picked them last week and it worked out pretty well. I think they've been hitting their stride. Jamar Chase is back, so let's go Bengals.
Yep. Bengals keep it rolling. Cincy all the way.
Make that 3 sweep.
That's never good.
All right, we got the Texans and the Cowboys.
And I think we're about to have another sweep for the Cowboys. Come
Cowboys.
on now.
Cowboys. All right.
Sweep.
All right, here's an interesting game. The Vikings and the Lions at Detroit. Detroit is a 2.5-point favorite in this game.
You know what Jack always says? That means that they want you to hammer Minnesota.
Yep.
But you shouldn't, because the Detroit Lions are going to win at home. They've been playing well the last couple weeks, even though the Vikings won last week, and they're a little shaky.
Mm-hmm.
So give me Detroit in this game.
I have the same feeling for this game I did with Baltimore and Jacksonville. So I'm gonna take the Lions.
I've been riding with them all year. Give me the Vikings. Kirk Cousins is not going to have 2 bad games in a row. Give me Kirk
but
and
he'll
Jay
have a
Jettas.
loss. He might play well. He'll have a loss.
Riley?
I'm riding with Josh, Detroit.
Thank you. Yeah, I was about to say, if you don't make
okay.
Detroit in this game, Riley, you're a
Here we
fraud.
go, Joseph. This could be your game that puts you ahead this week. We'll see.
Oh, lone wolf.
All right, moving on. We got another divisional matchup. We got the Jags heading to Nashville to take on the Titans, the freshly changed Titans. Will Treylon Burks play? We don't know, but we do know there will be no GM for the Titans as John Robinson no longer has a job. Who you guys picking?
So the Titans, well, under Mike Vrabel, they've been very good at bouncing back a lot of the time. So I do think they're going to win this game. I'll pick them, especially because we don't know about Trevor Lawrence if he's going to play. I know they said he might play, but it's kind of up in the air. So I'll go with the Titans just for those reasons.
Trevor Lawrence has a sprained big left toe or a left big toe.
Oh, that's the same.
Sprained left big.
No, hold up. That's actually the same injury Desmond Bain has right now, and he's been out for like 3 weeks almost.
That's hilarious. Right, who you going?
I feel a monster King Henry game coming. He's due.
He hates the Jaguars.
He's
He
so
hates the
dude.
Jaguars.
He does hate the Jaguars.
He also hates the Texans, right?
He hates.
So,
He hates,
he hates
the division. He hates the division.
I'll go Tennessee at home, only because it's a Nashville.
Not with the Jaguar shirt on,
Sorry.
too.
Listen,
God.
listen.
Trevor's banged up. He may not play.
Listen.
No, it's a good pick. It's a good pick.
I don't think the Titans have lost 3 in a row under Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, that's another thing.
I don't think
just
they
don't see
have,
it.
and they're not. I don't think so. Under
Probably
Mike
I wouldn't
Vrabel.
be
not.
surprised.
I would have to
yeah.
go back and
I
look,
wouldn't
but
be
I don't
surprised.
think they have, and they're not losing 3 in a row, especially not to the Jags. Give me Titans.
Titans sweep.
All
King
right.
Henry game incoming.
Moving on, we got the Eagles and the Giants. Give me Philly.
Philly, come on now.
Philly dub.
Sweep for
Yeah.
Philly.
We got the Ravens and the Steelers. Probably no Lamar Jackson. We got the Steelers on a roll so far at home. It's Pittsburgh minus 2.5. Woo. I'll let you go.
I'm taking the Steelers because I don't think Lamar's playing. If Lamar was playing, I would pick the Ravens, obviously. But, I mean, you look at the fact that they only put up 10 points last week. The only reason why the Ravens won last week is, well, it's partly because of their defense, but it's also because the Broncos are literally the worst offense in the NFL. I think the Steelers are going to be able to put up some points at least. So I'm going to take them.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's a really tough place to play. I haven't been impressed with the Ravens as of late. They almost lost to Denver, even with Huntley, playing. So it's not like Huntley is transcendent or anything like that. So I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Steelers have not been good at home. They're 2-3 at home so far this year, but they're on a roll. Kenny Pickett's playing into his own. Give me the Steelers against the Ravens as well.
This is a weird one, but we're gonna sweep the Steelers.
I think
Riley-
is that the first Steelers sweep of the season?
100%.
All right, moving on. We got Chiefs, Broncos. This one's easy, Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs. I'm not overthinking it. Come on now.
Nope. No, yeah, Casey.
The Chiefs playing
How
the
many sweeps have
Broncos
we
in
had, bro?
December.
All of them but one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
All right,
6, 7,
Here we go. We got Bucks 49ers, Brock Purdy versus Tom Brady.
Give me Tampa Tom in this
Damn,
game.
I was going to do Tampa Tom too.
Yeah, for the Buccaneers. I think, they might have found something in the end of that fourth quarter of the last game.
Dude, I thought
And
that
this is an important game.
San
No,
now.
no.
Francisco is a 3.5-point favorite in this game without their starting quarterback.
Okay, look, man, I see what you're saying. They came back and won, but if the Bucks found something, it would have been in London or in Germany against Seattle when they won that game, and then they had a bye, like
That's
all
true.
the time in the world, and then they lose to Jacoby Brissett and the Browns, and then they should have lost to the Saints. I don't think anything's fixed. Tom Brady is just finding ways to win games, but against a Niners defense, when it's crunch time, ain't gonna happen, Bobby. Give me the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm a Jack. I think San Francisco is just an exponentially better team than Tampa Bay, so I'm gonna pick Tampa Bay. Or
I
San
just
Francisco.
I just don't trust I don't trust backup quarterbacks in their second game. I don't.
No, it's
Okay.
it's true. No, because I mean, you look at Mike White. Mike White came out, looked like a freaking world beater, and then he came out the second game. It's because the first time when you get thrown into the game, they don't know what you do. Now you have like
They have some
they're
film.
gonna have like the Buccaneers defense,
I don't
which is
think-
another good defense, is gonna have a whole week to look at what he does.
I don't think Brock Purdy knew what he did in that game. He just
I
jumped it
think-
off the Christian.
I
True.
think
over
San
and over and
Francisco
over
is just that good that they can overcome Brock Purdy.
Well, we'll see at 4:25 on Sunday. All right, moving on. We got the Panthers coming off a bye playing the Seahawks. Give me the Hawks.
Yeah.
I'll take the
Seattle.
Seahawks as well.
At home.
Another sweep for Seattle.
DJ
All right.
Dallas game.
Here we go. Dolphins, Chargers got flexed to Sunday Night Football.
Thank you, NFL.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
already
you.
gonna tell you who I'm gonna take. Give me Tua Tagovailoa.
What?
I can't say his last name.
Tunga
Give me
Vailoa.
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa. Give me Tua.
Yeah, I'll take the Dolphins. I feel like I've been picking the Dolphins a lot this year, but I haven't the last couple weeks. So I think it's time for me to hop back on the Dolphins train.
How many games am I behind?
3.
Give me Chargers.
Okay. All right. Hey, fair. I'm going with Miami though.
Wait, I'm. Let me go back.
You're 3 games behind.
I'm 3 games behind Bryson.
You're 5 games behind Bryson.
Okay,
You're 3
yeah.
games
So I'm
behind
5
us.
games behind. Right. Yeah. Give me Chargers.
Okay. And you're going Dolphins.
Oh yeah.
All right, Monday Night Football. It's the Patriots and the Cardinals. Cardinals coming off a bye week.
I hate this.
Give me
Yes.
the.
This is terrible.
No, the Cardinals are 1-6 at home. They're terrible. Give me the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Patriots in this game too.
I'm going Bill Belichick's going to outcoach Cliff Kingsbury so hard.
That's not the biggest. That's not like the craziest take ever.
I know. That's why I'm picking the Patriots because
All right.
they have Bill.
Y'all got to pick so we can get to these locks.
Come on.
Wait, what'd you pick?
Pats.
Patriots.
Pats.
I'll take New England.
Dang, I thought you were gonna pick Arizona. Yeah, I'm picking New England.
Oh,
He
you
was. He was going to pick Arizona if you did.
guys.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't. I just already had him wrote down as Arizona.
Mhm.
I had
Yeah,
me
whatever.
wrote down as
All right, and then the bye week teams: Falcons, who probably need it now that they're having a quarterback controversy.
Lord, yeah.
Bears, who need it, they just need to get healthy. Packers, they need Aaron Rodgers to get healthy. Could see Jordan Love after, depending on how some outcomes go. Colts, they're just bad. Saints, just bad again. Commanders, could be good for the Commanders to kind of settle down, get right back into it. And those are the 6 teams on bye. With that, let's get into our locks of the week.
I already did my first one.
So we already know Bryson
wanna
is
finish them out?
taking
Yeah.
Raiders -6. What are your
Raiders
other
minus
2?
-6. Give me the under 42.5 in Jaguars and Titans, because
I
I'm saying
like
this
that.
is going to be like a 17-14 game type, something like that. So I'll take that. And then for a player prop, give me the over on Derrick Henry rushing yards. I don't even need to look at what it is.
Dang, okay.
Jack.
I think Nathaniel Hackett could get fired if they lose by 21 to the Chiefs at home.
He
I really
should.
think it could.
I think he should get fired at the end of the season regardless. But
Right. I'm going to take KC lock over 9.5 or -9.5. I'm going to take the Titans -4. And for my player prop, let's see here. Who's got a good matchup? Who's playing the Chargers this week? Miami.
Miami.
Tyreek Hill anytime
Take the
touchdown.
Tyreek over.
What is it? Do we know?
I have no clue. Let me look.
How do you guys find that?
Underdog.
Underdog. That is so helpful. See, I need to know that. Why do you
It's
not- why do you not know this?
97.5 receiving yards.
I don't like that. I'll take it anytime touchdown.
All right. I'll go. Give me
For
Eagle.
Tyreek.
Yeah.
Give me the Eagles -7. I'm pretty sure that's
Good pick.
that's just free money right there. Give me the over in Bucks Niners. It's at 37 right now. They're gonna put up some points. I feel like it's gonna be more than 37 because that's less than 20 points. That's less than 20 points per team.
Yeah.
That's less than 6 touchdowns. That's like 5 touchdowns right there. 5 touchdowns and a field goal. Yeah, give me that between Bucks and Niners. And then my player prop, I am gonna go. Oh man. Who are the Vikings playing again? Playing the Lions. Give me Justin Jefferson over 101.5 receiving yards.
Good pick. I like it.
You said
Yeah.
over how many?
101.5 against the Vikings or against the Lions. Come on now.
Come on.
Come on now.
Come on.
Come on now.
Riley.
That's kind of that's
Riley?
kind of okay. I'm gonna go with San Francisco -3.5. I think they win that pretty easily. Derek Carr over 250.5 yards passing. I think he can get that done against the Rams. And then Deshaun Watson under 266.5 yards from scrimmage. I just don't see Deshaun look terrible in that first game.
Yep.
I don't see any universe in where he goes over 266 yards.
I want to change my Tyreek Lock to Amon-Ra St. Brown over 82.5 receiving yards.
Over 82.5.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
against
I like that.
against the Vikings.
Garrett Wilson just had like 144.
He did. Had a great game. But yeah, guys, this has been the week. I guess it's the 14th episode because we did one pregame. So we're through week 13. We only got 5 weeks left in the NFL season. And then we got playoffs. And
Yeah.
that's going to be fun.
Playoffs, yeah.
So lot left to be made out in the rest of this season. But this has been another edition of the Cover 4 podcast brought to you by WTK's Rock Solid Sports. Don't forget to like and share to get all past and future episodes of the Cover 4 podcast for all your NFL news, takes, and more. For Bryson, Jack, Riley, I'm Joseph, and we'll see you guys next week on the next edition of Cover 4.